everybody, welcome back. We're so happy to see you after 3 freaking weeks.
You probably need to fix your sensitivity just a smidge.
Let me find.
Turn it back down again.
Yeah. Okay.
Or just mute yourself.
Is that bet? Shut up. Shut up.
Just mute yourself.
You know what?
Go die in a fire. Okay. So while Mahi, I guess, is going to fix himself.
I think it's fixed now. Is it fixed now?
It does.
Okay.
It sounds better. You want to try one more time for all the kids at home?
Hello, everybody. Again. There we go.
Ow.
Ah, much better. Much better. Well, I mean, you know, it's working at least. So yeah, 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Did we lose any subscribers?
I unsubscribed. We suck.
Did we have any in the first place?
There we go.
Recap time, everybody. Recap time. Having been sent on a quest by an evil cult of dragon worshippers to a dragon burial mound, our treasure-seeking adventurers decide to take a short rest in order to recover from their previous will-o-wisp encounter and to identify the magical loot found within several of the sarcophagi. Pythavin dons a circlet of blasting with laser-focused intensity. Mahi's loins currently being supported by the belt of dwarven kind, complete with a
Just
strange...
say my loins.
Yes, your loins. They're being supported
Thank
by the
you.
belt of dwarven kind, and complete with strange itch on his chin and intimate knowledge of all things that are dwarven. Tavith having replaced his old broken maul with a brand new frost-covered adamantium one known as the Icebreaker. Angelo recovering a magical silver whip known as an escapable lash, extending his utility. And Tor feeling pretty lucky with a magical stone of good luck to go with her previously looted mirror of the past. While profitable and somewhat sacrilegious, their grave-robbing investigation did not uncover the key they were sent to find, and with rest completed, their journey back to the central chamber begins. Before leaving, the party notices the return of malevolent spirits hovering above the open sarcophagi, and as they brace for a... Did we lose somebody?
Oh, we're good.
Okay. Before leaving, the party notices the return of malevolent spirits hovering above the opened sarcophagi, and as they brace for a potential encounter of animated bones, they notice the wisps do not engage and strangely bounce across the rims of the coffins, as if blocked from their evil intentions. Just as quickly, they wink out of sight. Feeling relieved, the party proceeds upon reaching the exit. They notice the icy bridge, which previously allowed safe passage across the small pit trap, had unfortunately melted and forcing the party to pursue more acrobatic solutions across. Mahi and Tavith attempt to carry one of the stone sarcophagus lids to use as a more secured bridge across, but the lid proved to be too heavy, and resulting in some bruised toes on Mahi's behalf. He forfeits the idea, and with the others being able to jump across with no issues, he showcases his new boots and clears the gap quite effortlessly. Taking that cue, Vanna skips an acrobatic feat for an easier path herself, and she misty steps her way to the other side. And with obstacle cleared, the party reconvenes in the central chamber, heads north to the last unexplored section of this mound, while eerie blue lights hover stalklishly behind. Upon reaching the northern corridor, Angelo spies another pit trap. However, this one's already been triggered by whatever belonged to the skeletal remains found within. Another tattered robe skeleton rests nearby against the outer wall, and skull detaches and rolls around on the floor as Angelo approaches to investigate. Tor, sensing a necrotic opportunity, argues with Angelo of recovering the skull, which she wins and pockets, but proves to be useful later on. As Angelo diverts his attentions down the hall, he spies something unnatural with a peculiar 5-foot section of the ground cover. Seems a little bit raised by a plate beneath it and adjacent to opposite carved stone walls with 2 long vertical slits. Angelo borrows Tor's recently acquired skull and throws it at the plated ground. As the skull hits, he watches the plate depress under the pressure and triggers a scything blade trap that quickly shoots out of the 2 slits. The weight of the skull not heavy enough to pin down the plate indefinitely, so the plate resets and gives Pythavin the bright to use her immovable rod to keep the plate pressed down, hoping once the trap has been triggered, they can cross safely. She gives the rod to Angelo and instructs him on how to lock it in place, and then Mahi volunteers to test the plan's effectiveness. Sidestepping the rod-oppressed plate, Mahi makes it across unharmed and allows the rest of the party to take turns individually do the same. But guided by Tor's lights, Mahi charges ahead of the party, and not being as observant as Angelo was, he does stumble across another Skydim Blade trap as he feels the pressure plate underneath him depress into the ground, resulting into mechanical whirling sounds coming from the wall. Miraculously, though, he does dodge the incoming blades, landing on the other side of the trap, alerting the others and warning the others of the potential danger. Angelo retrieves the immovable rod from the previous trap, and the party executes the same plan, with everyone arriving into the northern chamber unscathed. The northern chamber, rather large, echoes like a large cavern, a monumental-sized sarcophagus standing before them, and behind them an equally monumental skeletal remains of an ancient dragon, with a shiny longsword embedded into the center of its skull. Surrounding the sarcophagus is the scattered remains of previous intruders that have unfortunately ventured and perished within this cavern after its initial construction. The party suspects they may have been tomb raiders or grave robbers or even evil cultists wearing similar tattered and rotting clothing, similar to the skeletons found near the trapped corridor. Tor and Pythavin takes the opportunity to explore the area. Pythavin noticing similar runes etched across the lid of the sarcophagus, similar to the ones found throughout the mound, deciphering these during the burial rites. Looks like they belong to the Church of Kellenbor, to honor the dead and to prevent a potential rising of undeath. Fearing the Wisp's annoying ability to reanimate other unsecured skeletons within this mound, and noticing the dormant but hulking skeletal dragon looming in the background, she takes it upon herself to recreate the runic patterns found on the sarcophagus, and with her rod she draws accurate facsimiles into the dirt surrounding the dead dragon. Meanwhile, Tor investigates the remains of the dragon, and near its midsection underneath the cascading ribcage, she finds a partially buried onyx crystal. She casts her Identify ritual and determines the crystal shard is magical in nature. It contains the ability to dispel or activate arcane effects. Vanna looks eagerly on as Torque comes to understand the shard's properties. Tavith and Mahi have a discussion with the rest of the party in regards to the ornate and seemingly magical longsword stuck in the dragon's head. Angelo takes a closer look at the sarcophagus, and belonging to Lady Alangendar, scion of Neverwinter and Paladin of Helm, which epitaph commemorates her battle and sacrifices for slaying the ancient green dragon Azdraka, whose bones lie within the same chamber, implying that the longsword was most likely the same weapon she used to deliver that final blow, as per the bard's tale. Unlike the other sarcophagus, though, Angela discovers this one has a magical locks attached to the lid, preventing easy access to its interior. Pythavin, annoyed that the party is disrupting her little ritual, implores the rest of the party to not touch the dragon or the sword until she's completed her runes. The rest of the party is skeptical that Pythavin's plan will work, but they allow her to finish regardless, and then argue on whom should be able to take the sword. With a lucky or unlucky coin toss, considering his previous interactions with cursed swords, Mahi reluctantly volunteers to take up the blade. Invoking fabled tales of swords contained within stone pedestals, Mahi climbs the dragon's skull and effortlessly, with a firm grasp, pulls the sword out, holding it aloft as Tor's dancing lights gleams off the weapon's reflective surface. Skeptically, the party waits and expects some kind of reaction, but immediately there's no effect. Mahi descends the skull with new weapon in hand. As they prep to leave, however, the haunting sounds of wisps fill the air around them. Blue lights emerge from the walls and converge into the skeletal framework. The entire cavern shakes as the bones reanimate and begin collecting into itself, forming a clinking, hollow-sounding draconic image of an ancient cadaverous horror. It rears up and stretches out its bony wings, sensing the party's presence as they brace for battle. Angelo climbs on top of the sarcophagus, pierces the dragon's skull with a shot from his palm pistol. Pythavin channels her divine powers to turn any nearby undead presence away, manages to deter a few of the invisible spirits from the immediate area, but the wisp-empowered skeletal dragon seems unaffected by it. Provoked by Angelo's pistol, the bony horror overshadows Tavith, Vanna, and Mahi, leans into an attack with teeth and claw. Tavith and Vanna dodges the attack, but with the width of a tree trunk, its tailbone swings and slams into Mahi, knocking the wind out of him, sending him to the ground. Recovering, he stands up with equipped sword in hand, lighting the blade with radiant fire and searing the right half of the gaunt and decrepit creature, taking an opportunity to make another equally smiting attack and critically damaging the framework. Tavith, flanking it, smashes its left side with its new Frosty Hammer. The fragility of the aged and brittle bones shattering into uncountable pieces vulnerable to the hammer's bludgeoning effects as the remaining frame crashes down. Vanna throws an orb of fire, which passes through the cracked rib, splashing against the back wall. Tor summons a magical, massive tidal wave within the cavern, crashes from east to west and sweeps across the collapsing dragon, breaking his frame and injecting the wisps from within the central spinal column. The dimly lit wisps, desperately seeking to recharge, hover above the various piles of humanoid skeletons near the coffin, and like an alien abduction, blue lights beam up necrotic essence for the bones, reducing the bones into dust that evaporate into the air. With whatever life source it could extract from those bones, increasing their radial light, they reconverge back into the dragon, reconstituting the shattered fragments and reforming the skeletal creature once more. As it rears for another encounter, Angelo climbs back on top of the sarcophagus, cracks his whip in the air as a distraction, cursing at the dragon's horrific and whorish return. With a magical and vacuuming effect, it pulls tiny bone fragments off the ground, floating upwards through the dragon's spine and out of its open maw, and exhaling piercing bone shards towards Mahi and Angelo. As dexterously as it can, Mahi braces behind his shield. Angelo, with his uncanny style, dodges the brunt of the barrage. However, neither come out unscathed. The sheer number of piercing strikes bombard the area, striking unarmored portions and their extremities. Pythavin hurls her javelin of lightning, intent to shut the mouth. The javelin strikes and embeds itself into the skull, similar to the long sword that felled it many years ago. It gives the group a moment to recoup. Mahi and Tavi take the opportunity to break away, the barely clinging framework once more, looking more gaunt than it did at the beginning of the battle. Vanna adds to that with another lucky orb of fire, striking the cascading central column, causes most of the bony extremities to break off, and then slowly watches as it starts to reforge itself again. Tora follows up with her own fireball and finishes off the creature as it attempts to recover from the previous attacks, expelling the wisps once more into the stale cavern air. As the dragon tries to hold itself together, the wisps intervene and defend the dragon from its attackers and ambush the open party members. Distracted by the wisps, the party strike out at etherealites, and Angelo is able to catch one of them with his whip. Python tries to heal the rest, but puts herself within range of the dragon's bone shard attack. With not enough of its framework left to exhaust it, it uses the last of its teeth and claws to knock out Mahi in intent to finish off a dodging Angelo. Mahi down, and the dragon focused on Angelo. Tavi breaks its back with his maul, severing the skull and sending an icy shockwave shivering down its spine. The creature completely falls apart, and without its support, remains broken and dormant for the rest of the encounter. Vanna takes out Angelo's whip and tangled wisp, and with the dragon's fall and loss of yet another ally, the remaining wisps wink out of sight. Pythavin takes that moment to bring Mahi back from the brink of death before a fleeing wisp could recharge itself from his soul. While the rest of the party stand ready for another ambush, Tavith uses the time to bash any other remaining pieces that are large enough to be smashed into of the slain skeletal dragon to ensure that it has nothing left to reanimate. The frosting essence the maw, causing the brittle bones to shatter like ice. In doing so, he cracks open the dragon's skull and releases the embedded javelin that Pythavin had hurled earlier. The wisps reappear in a final attempt to reconverge back on the skeletal frame, but with fewer numbers, seemingly drained of their power, the bones continue to lie dormant. Two more wisps emerge from the hallway and rush straight for the remaining wisps as Tor pick off one more with a firebolt, and Angelo magically grapples another one, preventing it from reaching its destination. Pythavin continues to nurse Mahi back to health in order for him to join the battle, and smite the remaining weakened wisp hovering over the pile of bones. Tavi finishes off another joining up with Mahi against the Draconic Graveyard. The last two wisps turn invisible once more, but unfortunately for the one grappled by Angelo, the wisp still lingers in the air connected to a now invisible force. Pythavin uses disadvantage, pulling out two daggers, hurls them into the entangled mass, striking in between the coils and damaging whatever was still entrapped. The last wisp reappears to be shot down by a final firebolt from Tor across the room, and Angelo takes one more slash strike to his captured ghost as it fades out of existence, leaving the party alone and victorious amongst the scattered remnants of a bone-scarred battlefield. With prideful boasting and a boon of confidence of their recently skeletal dragon-slaying feat, they survey their surroundings. However, in the background, there's an echoey clapping sound coming from down the hall. And that's where we left off.
I forgot about the clapping.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
There's
I
clapping?
did
I
too.
don't remember that at all.
He might not have mentioned it, because head empty. No memory of this place.
But it's also
Coming
been 3
from-
weeks.
Coming from this sound, it echoes throughout.
Oh. Well, on the bright side, if it's another skeletal dragon, it can't fit down the corridor. Right?
Angela,
he-
with your passive, the sound is kind of just an echoed. I guess you would consider it a golf clap.
Golf clap almost as if somebody would like watch this entire thing and was like, "Oh, how quaint."
Is it the bard? That'd be funny. Ronan, is that you?
You would all like make a perception check to see. Ivan, you can hardly see because you've got dark vision.
I would love to investigate.
If it's the drow, I would like to on site hit her with a chromatic orb, just so we're clear.
I'm rolling with
I'm
the
great.
paladin dice. Nobody judge me. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you really want to do that?
She doesn't roll good.
See, but half of the dice are the same dice. Because I use one set in both. I got a 16.
Okay.
For perception.
This is good enough. One thing that you can see here.
I might just use digital dice today. Hee hee.
You notice that during the battle, the exit and entrance, as far as you know, is rather caved in.
What in the world?
But out of the stonework, it's the fog tool. They moved it on me. Jeez.
Oh, I have a new tool. What does this do?
The lasso.
Oh, oh, I can move so many things at one time now.
No.
That's cool.
Watch. Move the whole map.
There we go.
Oh, good.
See, it's Ronan. Ronan's gonna be the final boss. Let's go. Square
You
up,
watch
Ronan.
as this spectral essence kind of flies out of the rubble.
Well, hello there.
He's making a walking motion, but you can kind of see he's somewhat still hovering, though. His feet aren't quite touching the ground and kind of aren't quite formed towards the bottom. They're kind of a blue spectral essence, very translucent in effect. Definitely spiritual. Less like he looked above on the surface when you last saw him, but you do recognize the same mannerisms, attire. You do see the lute strapped to his back. And he is slowly clapping as he hovers close to the group with a smile on his face.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the show.
Thank you.
Well done, adventurers. Well done. Marvelous. I couldn't have written a better story myself.
No, please don't tell me you're going to attack us now. That would really just kind of put a damper on my day.
Oh, no, of course not. You have done what we could not. The story has a happier ending. than the previous version.
Yeah, we kind
That
of
was
saw
over
all
to-
your graves.
Yeah, are one of those dudes you?
He kind of nods over to your direction, Tavith. Um, let me ask, Tor, did you want to reconvene your dancing lights around
Yeah.
so that everybody can kind of see?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll do that.
Okay. What is this? The rest of you kind of hear the voice, but now coming into focus here within the lights. The Ronin approach towards the back of the room. Leans up against the sarcophagus and looks to the rest of you all. Still kind of slowly clapping. And then Tavith, he notices you when you address him. He looks down at the maul that you're carrying. And he kind of has a little bit of a smirk and go, and I see that you all have procured some additional assistance in this endeavor.
Well, we figured if these things helped, kill the dragon first time, that it would help the second time, and it did.
If only time. Unfortunately, only one of those items did, and he kind of looks past you all onto the other side. I don't see that particular item.
I mean, this thing. Mai just kind of lifts the sword a little bit.
Ah, yes, Lady Allegandar's Dragon Slayer. Quite effortlessly, although maybe a few moments too late for the rest of us, however. And surveys the area. You're welcome to keep the items accordingly, providing he kind of looks back behind him and kind of shrugs. Of course, I can make my way out. You might have some more difficulty, unfortunately.
How far is that caved in? Do you know, like, how many feet of rock you traveled through?
Might work that way. But I can survey at least enough to the fact that it will be some time if you are choosing to go that direction.
Sometime as in, like, a couple hours, or as in, like, a day?
Depends on. He kind of breathes in slightly and realizing that he doesn't breathe. He kind of smirks a little bit over and looks over to Python. It's providing how long you can last in here.
Why are you looking at me?
He can smell death on you.
Oh.
You gonna die, girl?
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, the stench of death around Python right now, it's thick.
It just constantly follows me. I have no control over it.
Well, it may follow upon the rest of you as well, as probably the oxygen is not going to sustain itself for too long in here. The air being as stale as it is. Unpleasant. If I could only smell or feel or breathe once again, I'd be more empathetic. Unfortunately, I of course can pass by, and now with the feat accomplished, you all did what we could not. And perhaps maybe I can move on to the next tale of my adventure. Those that have already gone before me and left me here lingering, since I was not privy to the rest of the battle, seeing as I was the dragon's first victim.
It's rough, buddy.
That's such is the life of the bard. Unfortunately, shouldn't have been on the front line, at least not of the dragon attack.
caster problems.
Indeed. Well,
Oh.
for whatever it is worth, I do thank you for your assistance. Disposing of those unfortunate little wisps, they were annoying and provided me with naught but much company. They did not appreciate any of my tales or musics.
That's a shame.
Can I start looking around for another way out of here?
He's
Alrighty.
also gonna help look around. Dark vision now.
Dark vision new.
Yerk.
Dork vision.
Dark vision.
In the darkness.
I'm just gonna roll the digital dice because I'm lazy.
Tell me what it is that you are trying to do.
I'm gonna like go around the edges of this place basically and try to look for, like, you know those video game walls where like something clearly needs to be blown up so you can find another exit? Yeah, I'm like looking for
Yeah, the
something.
ones that, yeah,
Like the Dragon Ball Z rocks that you know the mountain's gonna get
the
sheared
wall
off
is
there.
kind of a different
Oh.
shade.
Yes, that's perfect.
I'm looking for that.
Alright, go ahead and roll investigation for me. If
With
Mahi
advantage,
wants
'cause
to
Mahi's
add,
helping.
yeah, if Mahi wants to add his help to you,
Yes, I would like to add my help.
so both of you will kind of take a little scenic tour around the cavern.
Ugh, that was
Yes.
almost good. Instead, it's a 13.
13.
Advantage?
I rolled a 6 and an 11.
Oh, unfortunate.
All right. So you guys go ahead and let's say I'll start off walking off here and make your way. What would the rest of you like to do? While this will take some time considering the nature of the cavern, so we'll say this will probably take a few moments.
I'm gonna move over and sit basically like on the opposite side of the casket from where Angelo is, I think, either still standing or
Sitting.
was standing. He's sitting now. Okay, so I'm sitting on the opposite side. Well, if we don't have a way out, I have an unpopular way that we might be able to get out.
And what is that?
We do know a wizard who can teleport. He might be able to do something for us.
Ooh.
Yeah, an
Only I could
unpopular
hear that.
opinion, but
Don't one of you guys
if
have an
it's
acorn
that
thing?
death,
Ronan,
we have to have a
Ronan
tree
goes
for that.
ahead and sits at the foot of the sarcophagus and he pulls out his lute and starts playing it, but there's no sound coming out of it.
If we had a tree, we could get back with an acorn, but we don't have a tree down here because it's a
I
cave
am not
underground.
opposed to teleporting out of here. If that is
Well-
what we must do. But for now, I'm going to give my bad leg a rest.
It's a bad leg.
Yes.
Didn't we determine
Yes,
that he doesn't
yes.
have a bad leg?
Correct.
I have an old injury in my right leg.
I'm like squinting at Angelo right now.
I've told you about it before.
Would you like for me to massage it?
No.
No, you're lost.
I'm just gonna make dancing lights just whirl around while I wait for somebody to tell me if we can get out of here or not.
Well, if I wasn't a blind person, I'd go looking around too, but I can't see
Same.
past beyond these lights.
I know, that's honestly why Angelo's staying here.
Same. I don't want to move my lights around. It's too difficult. Just letting the two people with dark vision go do it.
Right as Mahi and Pyth traverse through the darkness.
Did we open this sarcophagus already? We did, right?
No.
Nope, it's closed.
Hey, do we want to open this thing? Or nah?
It is magically sealed, and I think the only thing that we could find in it is already in the hands of Mahi, so I
Okay.
don't think there's much to find in this
Maybe there's a way out.
dead body.
Maybe there's a way out inside there. I don't know.
I forgot to put my sound on.
Ronan,
He kind of stops tweaking with his lute. Looks like one of the little strings kind of came undone and twanged a little bit. It's the only sound that you heard, and he puts it back. It kind of looks over his shoulder at you.
is there a hidden staircase in the sarcophagus that we could use to get out of the cave?
He kind of smirks. I don't think you'd find too many staircases unless you wanted to go further down, and I would not advise to go in that direction.
Well, in that case, sorry, that idea is out of the window. It was a good theory, though.
Window when there are none.
So these things are pillars, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna like lay back and look up to see if I can see any light coming through the ceiling anywhere.
Okay. Which one are you gonna look at?
I'm just looking up at the ceiling in general, looking for light points.
Okay. The only light. Go ahead and roll perception.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna use one light dice. This should be fantastic. Oh, 19.
19. All right. So you kind of look up at the top of the cavern. It goes pretty high. It's about like 30 to 40 feet up above here. Just enough, space for this huge dragon. Unfortunately, not enough necessarily for him to fly or do anything else but stand up. Most likely, though, there are places where you kind of see where either his wings or his head might have actually hit the top of it, possibly may cause the cave in behind you, but you don't see any light sources with the exception of your dancing lights. Nothing from the
Okay.
surface. After a few moments, Pythavin and Mahi pretty much come back to the group. They surveyed the exterior of the walls, but did not find anything unusual other than rock and stone and dirt. The cavern area itself is fairly natural. The only manufactured portions of it looks to be the pillars and, of course, the sarcophagus.
Well, we found nothing.
Any other plans?
I suppose we could just dig.
You said
Maybe.
it's pretty caved in.
Yeah.
Has to remember to be a
'Cause-
cleric. What's in my spells?
I know, I'm like looking at my spells. Like, I don't think I have anything.
I'm
Do I
out of
have a
spells. I
clear-
used them
Do I have a
all.
clear cave-in spell?
Yeah, do I have a delete dirt spell?
Right? Unfortunately, I have a destroy and create water, not a destroy and create earth, unfortunately.
Not like that, but guys aren't druids or different domain
I don't
cleric.
have any trees. Well, I have a solution that we can use as a worst case scenario solution.
Okay.
But I think we're fairly close to worst case scenario, so
We do know somebody who can teleport.
No.
No, listen, I've got this, and I'm gonna start digging in my bag to try to find my sending stone.
Which you do not find. Oh, by the way, everyone see
Hey, I
their
see
new
that.
containers
Yeah.
Yes,
listing? You guys
yes.
okay. I think I've got everything all fixed out for you, but you guys can move
How
around
long
as
did you spend
necessary.
on this?
It took a while. I had to recreate some things
Oh my
in order to make them movable. But all the stuff should be now movable between the different containers.
got it.
Luckily, a few of you
Ooh.
had satchels and stuff, so I just renamed them. But you can call them whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Other satchel. I'm trying to remember what that was.
Well, you
So-
found them in the manor. I think you got them from some of the orc shamans.
Oh.
Tori's just frowning.
Equivalent to
She,
like a component pouch, basically.
She like stops looking in the bag holding, and she starts going through her component pouch. And then when she doesn't find it there, she like puts down her backpack and starts going through her backpack.
D&D Beyond screwed me over.
Hmm.
Lost my sending stone.
Bummer.
Sponsored by D.
Or
That's by D&D Beyond.
What?
are you looking for your sending stone?
Yeah.
I will be honest with you, I want to apologize. I had taken it. I had not had my sending stone. I had thrown it out the window because I had lost my temper. I did not have it. I had found yours, and by found I mean I looked
What?
through your
Why
stuff.
were you looking through my stuff?
I was looking specifically for a sending stone.
What?
Um,
What?
You like throwing things out
again,
windows,
I
don't
want
you?
to apologize. So if you need it, Pyth has it.
When did you take? Why did?
I
Why does Python?
originally I was searching for paper, a pen, so I could copy a map in case we needed a second map. And when I was looking through your stuff, I didn't know how a bag of holding worked, so I kind of took everything out of it. I saw the sending stone, and I saw that, oh, I don't have one. So I took it for the time being, and yes, I apologize.
Why does Pyth have it?
Uh, because I was talking to Pyth, I showed her that I had the sending stone. I gave it to her, and she had not returned it. I did not necessarily ask for it back, but
Pyth, why didn't you? You knew he had taken it out of my bag, right?
Didn't seem like an opportune time.
When was this?
This morning?
oh, yeah, when was this?
No, it was
It
last.
wasn't this morning. It was like
last
2
night.
months ago.
last night or like
nights
2
ago.
nights ago.
2 nights ago, I
IRL.
think. I think it was 2 nights ago, actually.
I have no recollection at this point.
It was either
If I'm not
last night or
mistaken,
2 nights ago.
I believe it was either last night or a couple of nights ago. But again, I apologize. I should not have done that. But now that we are talking of contacting Corlin to teleport us out of here, Beth can just give it to you. And again, I want to apologize. I should not have taken that.
Ronan
No,
at this point
you
has
shouldn't
kind
have.
of slid off the sarcophagus and kind of flew past you guys. He kind of mentions as he crosses between Van and Python. He goes, "Well, this is very awkward. I'm going to go ahead and leave you all now. For however long you still remain, or if you do get out of here again. Thank you for your patronage, I guess." And he turns around and floats over to this pillar here and goes inside of it.
I hold my hand out towards Pyth. Give it back.
Must slowly reach into my bag. you want to know why I didn't give it back?
Yeah, I kind of do, actually.
Because you have been acting not like yourself. And I am concerned about you.
No offense, but you've known me for 2 weeks. Now give me the stone.
I think we've all come to know each other more in 2 weeks than many people know us. I don't want to
Tor's is still
contact
holding her
Cora.
hand out. Well, you're gonna give me my stone back.
I'm gonna slowly hand it back to her.
Take it, I just hold on to it for the time being.
All right, go ahead and remove your sending stone, and Tor can re-add it to her inventory. Place it whichever pouch you prefer. It's not an attunement, is it?
No.
No.
No, it won't let me add. Hold on. Okay, got it.
You hear Ronan's voice kind of in the background. His head kind of pops out through the pillar wall here. He goes, "Oh, by the way, y'all may keep those items if you ever do get out. Consider it payment for services rendered. I don't believe my fellow brethren will reclaim them from you anytime." Hello! He pops back in.
I flip him off as he goes through the wall.
You didn't have any right to keep my stone. Were you concerned for me, or were you concerned about what I might do? Because if you were concerned for me, you could have just talked to me. And given me my stone back.
To be fair, talking to you has not exactly gone smoothly the last couple of days. Or ever, for that matter.
So you just thought you could just keep my property? Not ask me about it, make your own assumptions?
We have had other things to worry about.
Well, better find a way out of this cave then if you don't want to talk to Coraline.
You
I
understand
honestly
that my
believe.
hesitation to talk to Coraline has much more to do with our safety than it does my personal grudge against him.
Yes, but I also know that staying in here is certain death.
If I may, I do believe Corlin might be our best bet on getting out of here. So unless we can find another solution quickly, I am not opposed to using Sending Stone to get us out of here.
Look. As much as I hate to admit it, I think it is our only option at the moment. And to be fair, he just kind of looks down like he doesn't want to. Like you can tell he's hesitant to say this. Like he doesn't want to say it. We haven't been listening to Tor like we should. going to be a team. Even if we disagree, sometimes we have to go with each other's plans, just for the heck of it. I've went with mine, and even when it's failed terribly, I'll still have been there. I say let's go with Tor's plan. Might go bad, might go good. Do I trust him? No, I don't. Not even a little. But perhaps we can get back to Phandalin. I can get some troops or something and rescue my dumb brother. Maybe we don't have to do this all ourselves, like we have been. I understand your hesitation, Pyth. I really do. And I agree with you fully. But Mahi just kind of looks at the collapsed cave. I don't know how to get out of this situation. Not that I'm the smartest one in this group, but I don't think we have any other options.
And what happens if he calls us back to Phandalin and the drow is already there? Or if he won't
Then
allow
we
me
might
to
die.
leave again?
Again, I'm
Well-
not saying it's a good option. I'm saying that if we stay here and can't get out, we do for sure die. Because I'm pretty sure all of us who are still in here need to breathe.
I do have a nice dragon slaying sword now. He says in quotations, he says dragon slayer.
But if you want to try to find another way out of here, you can take some time to do that. Just don't take too much time.
We can rest for an hour as look around, Pyth. Something. Not gonna lie, I need to rest. A little beat up. As Mahi coughs up a little bit of blood from getting knocked out by a dragon.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, come on. You were barely almost dead. Calm down.
You're right.
Right. Let's take an hour to consider our options, to
guys-
explore new options.
Doesn't mind if I just start digging away at the dirt there,
Go ahead.
blocking the way.
You want my shield? I'll give you my shield.
Yeah, you
A la
know.
last time.
I feel like Tavi should now have proficiency in digging.
Right?
Proficiency
Like-
in shield shovel.
What? No.
He
What?
gets
There's a
added
there's a speed.
bonus.
There's a speed in D&D. I think
Burrowing.
it's burrowing speed. He should have an
Yeah.
official burrowing speed.
Like,
Enough
it can be
that
a slow
he cleared all
speed, but
that
it's a
dirt
burrow
last
speed.
time. Give Tavi the burrow speed 2K21.
There we go.
Angelo's gonna go over here and just sit next to this dead body.
Fun.
Digging away.
I'm
So
gonna
that
give
is
Tavi my shield
A pile
and
of
guidance.
ash at the moment.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So,
And
Yeah,
then
so
I'm going
Claire-
to go and try to search the perimeter again.
okay.
I'm gonna sit on the sarcophagus.
All right.
Tor.
I'm gonna draw in the dirt.
I'm just gonna turn my sending stone over my head in my hands, and I'm also gonna just alternate between just turning the sending stone over my hand and then also just, looking in my bag to make sure nothing else is missing.
Did I take anything else? No, I returned the pen. We're good.
Turn the pen, you don't need to use the sending.
Or go ahead and make an intelligence check for me. Just a straight up intelligence check.
Good news, guys.
Hold up.
You
You're
dumb.
supposed to be the smart one. We're doomed.
Listen, I'm oxygen deprived, okay?
That's fair.
That's a crit 1 plus 4, so it's a 5.
Okay.
Tor.
So I'm stupid today. Hey, listen, it's the online dice, okay? I don't have any real dice today.
What a dummy.
So you kind
You're gonna
of
get us all
play
killed.
with the sending stone. You kind of twirl it around in your hands like a stress relief. All right. So you don't really notice anything. Angelo, so you kind of sit in the pile that used to be. There's still some tattered remains of cloth, basically, but all the bones, basically, when the wisp, like sucked it dry, it basically just evaporated the bones. So the only thing that's in the area right now, you're kind of drawn in some, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. But um, so you doodle into the ground. Any particular shapes, or
I'm drawing Tor.
you're drawing Tor?
I'm drawing Tor with like a little drippy in her staff.
Tor, you
don't
kind
have
of
a
notice
drippy.
as you kind of look over to Angelo, and you bring one of your little dancing lights over to him. Kind of hovers in the area where he's kind of drawn with his finger. He can every so often he looks up at you, kind of like inspecting you for a little bit. Cocks his head and then goes back down, continuing his drawing. Vanna goes ahead and sits on top of the sarcophagus opposite of you. And Mahi, Pythavan, you go ahead and start. Tell me what you are doing specifically.
I'm going like back around the opposite way that I did earlier, and
Okay.
like,
Still the outer wall is what you're inspecting?
yeah.
Okay.
But okay, wait. I also want to inspect the pillars this time, and just like as I'm going, I'm like kicking the walls, like just anything that could possibly be an exit. I'm like kicking it, prying at it with daggers, like literally anything.
Okay. Go ahead and just do a general perception roll for me. Let's see if you notice anything.
Okay, an 18.
Okay, okay. All right.
Move me.
All right. So for you, sir, um, while she is doing her thing, so you come to the wall. Now, what you've got her shield in hand. As you approach, you notice that the cave-in is mostly rock consistency, as opposed to dirt, like in the previous section where you were digging people out. It was mostly just kind of dirt that kind of cave in from the walls interior. This looks like it's kind of rock supports from the ceiling that kind of fell in and caved in. Um, you, they just clank against the shield. The shield is not going to budge through that kind of rock.
Hmm. So I put the
Your
shield down
digging
gently.
is somewhat
Yeah,
impaired unless
thank
you
you.
wanted to dig around or under it.
Hmm.
If you want to dig a hold of Albuquerque and Bugs Bunny it, you could do that, or you can use something else. The shield is
Can
a
I?
pretty effective option.
Can I? Are how big are the rocks? Can I move them?
You can attempt to go ahead and roll a strength check for me.
Okay. That's a 21.
21. Nice. All right. So uh, you try to grasp your fingers around a jutting kind of rock to kind of pull it, and as you're able to get one that's loose and easily enough, it's kind of a large portion. And for anyone else, they wouldn't be able to budge it, but with a 21, you're basically able to yank the rock out, kind of bigger than your head. I'd say it's from shoulder length to shoulder length for you, and you place it down on the ground. It kind of rolls a little bit off to the side, but as you do so, you notice as you pull it out and give way, the rest of it from above it kind of caves in. Just replaced what you had removed, unfortunately.
Minecraft gravel.
Mm.
This is stupid.
I'd say now this part, though, to that point, is more gravelish, and so this part could be scooped.
Grab the shield again.
Go ahead and roll the strength check, and let's just see how
How much I can
much you can
scoop?
accomplish in a short period of time
How
here.
much am I gonna scoop? 17.
17. Okay. So you start working on that. You notice you are able to scoop enough of it away, but behind it, you know, it's clanking against more compacted rock. So it's going to take you some time. If you want to continue to keep doing that, you could possibly make some 5-foot sections, given the time frame that you guys are going to be here. Shall I leave you to that, or did you have any other ideas or wants or needs?
I'll keep on doing this.
Okay. All right, so Tavith is working away on his little corner there, getting a fairly big dent in there, so he might be able to get a little bit pushed through. In the meantime, Mahi, if you are spending, I assume if you guys are going to do a short rest here, you can go
Yes.
ahead and do the hour. With the exception of you, Tavith, you're the only one who's like actively working, so you won't benefit from a short rest.
Pite's like kicking walls, so.
Yeah, Python, you're okay because you're not really doing anything super strenuous. You're using your brain in this case. So the rest of you are able to go ahead and get your short rest benefits.
Cool.
Mahi, if you would like to identify said sword,
Yeah.
you won't be able to attune it within this
Aww.
option, but
Or just attune to it without identifying it.
well-
We know that went well last time.
Oh wait, didn't he said it was a dragon slaying sword, right? So would I still need?
He kind of identified it for you. I'll say for this purpose, considering, I'll let the attunement and identify kind of take part, especially since you've already had use of it and practice during the dragon battle.
Mhm.
It didn't benefit you during that, but
Right.
I'll let you go ahead and attune it. So if you want to go ahead and remove the long sword and go ahead and equip the Dragon Slayer longsword version.
Yay.
Can I go ahead and identify my arcane onyx shard just to see if I can find out more about it to kind of confirm if it is what we think it is?
Yeah, you already did. You did that the last when you guys found it.
Oh, I didn't think I did, but okay, good.
Um,
Uh,
I
by the way,
would have given
DM?
you some more info, but with your intelligence check, you didn't win that one. So
By the way,
that
DM,
note will go unnoticed.
the Dragon Slayer longsword does not require attunement. I just
Oh.
tried it. It's not actually. It's
Nice. Then either way, cool. I'm surprised that doesn't require attunement.
I know. I know.
Things
It's like it's
that
actually a pretty.
Wait,
Like it's
I
actually
thought-
pretty powerful.
Yeah,
I thought the
I guess
intelligence
because
check
multiple
was because I was playing
classes.
with the sending stone. I wasn't playing with the arcane rock.
No,
I was playing
I
with the sending stone.
yeah, I know it's relevant to that, but
Oh, okay. Got it. Just
all
wanted to
right.
make sure
I would like to do
Yeah.
just one thing. While they're sitting there and Mahi's, looking at the sword and stuff, Mahi does kind of turn, kind of put his hand on a Tor's shoulder. I want you to know I do trust you. Whatever you think we should do, we'll go with it. But,
Thanks.
very, very weird question. Do you have any paper that you're not using?
Hold on. Do I still
Here,
have
let me
paper?
compliment you. Now, give me paper.
Yeah, that
because
was very obvious.
I
I
There's-
trust you in
listen,
your
I want you to
mind.
know I trust you.
Do you have
Trust
any
you.
Now,
Give
I you have like
It's all about misdirection. If I would have just leaned in with, "Can I have
Yeah.
paper?" She would have said, "I don't have paper." You
do
wouldn't even
my
look.
homework.
I trust
But it-
you. Can I have 50 gold?
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly reach into my bag and pull out a piece of paper.
Alright.
I take the paper and I start scribbling on it. Start
What?
writing things down.
I'm gonna watch them
Basically
scribble.
writing down translation from common to draconic, very simple phrases.
So I assume you're gonna borrow a pen too, then.
Yeah, I give him my pen to borrow.
Okay.
And I scribble down, and it's basically just hello, goodbye, thank you, yes, no, maybe. Like, just very simple things. And once I'm done, I hand it back.
You wanted to learn Draconic, so I don't know if I'll be able to get the chance to do it in person, but at least you can learn it.
Thank you. Her first thank you, like when he turned and like said, "I trust you" and everything, was like a sincere thank you. But like now it's a
This one has
very
a question mark after it.
confused thank you. You think we're gonna die, don't you?
I don't.
And Mahi looks towards the undead dragon bones.
A lot of crazy things.
Did he just cut out for everyone else?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Where did I
You
cut
said
out?
a lot of crazy.
Things.
Oh.
A lot of crazy things.
Mahi looks back at the undead dragon bones and goes,
I don't know, though. A lot of crazy things have been happening. I think we'll be okay, though.
Okay. Tor's gonna slowly fold the paper up and she's gonna slip it into her inside of her journal.
She's like, that's nice.
She folds it nicely though. She doesn't like haphazardly and she just slip it inside the journal. It's put away nicely.
Vanna, you wouldn't happen to know how to open portals, would you?
She's currently sitting on top of the sarcophagus, and her feet aren't quite touching the floor, so they're kind of dangling a little bit. She was looking down, but as you mentioned that, and I'll say you're at this point, because I'm going to have you do something here, you're currently inspecting that pillar across. She kind of looks up at you, and she kind of gives you a kind of almost an aggravated look. And she said, if I did, I wouldn't be stuck here with you guys.
Not necessarily
I would
interdimensional
be
portals.
home.
More like teleportation portals, Vanna.
I skipped that class, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I didn't. I just don't have the spell.
Technically, I never went to school at all.
It actually sounds like class. I don't know what's that.
My ancestors did not have that ability, unfortunately. So I'm here on this plane of existence, underground, going to die.
And you're having a great time
Indubitably.
with your new best friends who have ugly hair colors.
Speaking of which, and she pops her little black little pseudo dragon into her lap and starts petting it.
not to brag or anything, but Mahi is feeling much better. I rolled a 9 and a 10 for my short rest healing.
Well, I took no
That-
damage. Take
Oh.
that.
I forgot that was a thing that we were doing.
Yes, you all can go ahead and do that. Python, I need you to go ahead and roll an investigation on this pillar specifically.
Ooh. Come on, dice. Roll so good. Come on, dice. Be so helpful.
No.
Ooh. A dirty 20.
All right. So as you notice, the pillars themselves were constructed as support for this opening of this whole cavern. So this was constructed. This wasn't just hewn away from natural carving. So this you feel that this pillars themselves are pretty good in terms of you don't suspect that there's going to be any type of structural instability here or collapse further. That might be why the whole place did not cave in. So somewhat thankful for the fact that they have these pillars here. They extend all the way at the top of the ceiling. There isn't anything specifically out of the ordinary on this, though you kind of look for any type of buttons, levers, secret agendas, anything that you could possibly find. Nothing on this pillar accordingly. However, with your perception roll from earlier, one thing that you do notice here as you are making your rounds across, is that you hear like the slightest, faintest music coming from the north.
Squints at this pillar. Squints at the other pillar. I'm gonna follow the music.
While you do that, Vanna slides over to you, Mahi. And she just starts kind of, as you were, what is it? Are you doing anything specifically while you're resting here?
I'm just sitting down, taking a breather, and just admiring my new sword. Go bear.
Inspecting your sword. Tavith, at this point, you've got about 5 feet into the tunnel.
Nice.
You kind of yell back to the others, "Doing good. I'm getting there."
Slowly
Keep
but
going,
surely.
Tavi. We believe in you. We believe in you, Tavi.
Thank you. Thank you. Tor, I
Man.
think that was you.
Yep, that was me. Oh, real quick before I forget. I am gonna reach into my bag of holding and pull out the mirror of the past and hand it over to Mahi.
Okay.
I know
Mahi.
we're saving the use for now, for if we need to, you know, find the drow, but I figured, after that you could, if you had it, it'd be easier for you to use it or something.
Mahi is visibly excited, but also he's like trying to keep it in.
Sure, yeah.
I rolled a critical 1 on my deception check, so yes, he looks very
Yeah.
excited.
What does he do again?
Yeah.
What is the thing?
You can see into the past.
Nice.
So, like, if we were to look into it and think of the drow, we could see parts of her past. There's only 1 charge per day, though.
So are you
So I'm
just
removing
showing?
that from my. No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
giving it to you.
Oh, okay.
So I'm removing it from my inventory.
So again, remove it, and then Mahi, you can add Mirror of the Past to your inventory.
There it is. Add to the backpack.
Vanna looks very interested as you take the mirror. She kind of leans over, kind of looking at the mirror and looking at you.
You just kind of awkwardly smile. Like, what's
Kind of
up?
awkwardly smiles back. She kind of nods over to the mirror. You gonna use it?
Well, we might need it later, like
And I point back to Tor.
you said, but
Like, if we get to, like, when we're going to sleep tonight and we haven't used it, you could use it
yeah,
then. Because
sure,
then it resets in the morning. But, like, just in case we need it before then.
sure.
She seems a little disappointed. Not sure what strategic use could be on the mirror that just shows you things from the past.
Potential, probably.
I just cut
There's
out
something
there.
in your past that you want to know about?
A couple of things, but it's
Like what?
my home, mainly.
Where are you from? Or is that the part you don't know?
I know I'm near. One second.
I think I got it, but I want to be sure that I'm telling you guys correctly.
I know that I'm near the place I was probably born.
Shut up.
My birthplace.
Ah, yes.
I know it's.
Poison for Kusa.
Town of Greenest.
Just come out of an egg.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
You were found near the town of Greenest
Right.
by your foster
Yeah,
father.
I just found it. I just wanted
Bro,
to be
did you
sure.
get-
I was gonna say
Bro,
that.
Did you get Loki?
What?
Did you get Loki?
Are you Loki, Mahi?
Like, you know how
Are
Loki
you
was found on a battlefield?
secretly a frost giant?
Shh. Don't ruin the backstory. Shut up.
And
I mean,
bro, I hate to tell you this, but
it-
your
it-
foster father
he-
murdered your family. I'm just saying.
he is
crap.
saying this to Vanna, yeah? So, I mean, it's appropriate question. Except the Loki part.
I was found. Nest. Up to Cal. I traveled a lot, actually. Well,
Vanna
a
goes,
little bit
"Oh,
when I was.
okay, I'll bite. You were found? Most people are born?
I mean, I'm
No,
assuming I
ex-
came out of an
explain.
egg or something.
It's
That's
called
the part that
adoption,
I.
Vanna.
So you don't know your parents?
That is something I could figure out, possibly. Or heck, what was my name? My actual name, not the one that was given to
Munchie.
the one that was. Shut up. This might say that. I kind of want her
No.
to,
No, I'm
actually.
busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's actually started heading that direction anyway.
She's
Lot of
not listening to
questions.
any of this.
Mm. Vanna kind of nods, goes, well, that definitely seems like a particular useful thing to have then.
Yeah.
What's at the mirror? You never knew
Bruh.
your real parents then.
No, I did not.
Hmm.
I'm assuming they looked like me. Most likely. Probably. I don't
That is
actually know.
typically how genetics work. I
Oh.
didn't get much from my mom, though.
Yeah, I could be half something. I don't know. My
Kind of folds
dad
her
might-
arms. She's like, well, I'm not familiar with this town you're talking about because, I don't live here, but was it a swampy area?
I don't think so. Was it a swampy area?
There are swamps around that area, yes.
There are swamps around that area.
That sounded like so original, like Mahi said it himself without any help from a greater force.
God told me.
Divinely inspired to say this.
Kind of cocks his head up towards the ceiling, kind of squints his eyes, goes, Mahi's trying to remember real hard.
Here's a voice. Yes.
See,
Yes.
see, Senor Mahi.
I think Helm's talking to me.
He speaks Spanish.
Helm's Hispanic?
And she kind of nods. She goes, well, that would make sense. And she speaks in Draconic in this part, and she says, considering that's where black dragons typically tend to hang out.
He just kind of cocks his head, like, why are you speaking? Like, what? He just replies in common. Like he's still very much confused.
Yes, that's more correct.
Oh, she kind of almost catches herself, and and she speaks in common again. Sorry, I have history with dragons.
Considering green ones like to eat, I can imagine. That can't
Yeah.
be wrong.
Yeah, kind of a study of all kind of a dragon life, though. So I know all the colors.
Not a lot of people do.
Your kind tends not to be so
Yeah,
sociable.
I am.
Well, he just kind of squints his eyes a little bit, he's like,
Feels
yeah.
vaguely racist.
He's just like, yeah, I
Your
know, I
kind.
know.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, it gets me in trouble sometimes.
But of course, it's not like you actually came from a dragon or anything. I not the same thing.
Nope. One was made to serve, one was made to rule.
But it's funny how sometimes, it's like that thing with where pets kind of mimic the owners.
Tor's like
I think
turned
I was
around and
just called a
squinting
pet.
at Vanna at this point because like this entire conversation has very like heavy racist overtones from Vanna right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tor's just squinting at Vanna.
No, I mean, I, she kind of asked her. She says that she kind of realizes it sounds a little bit offensive, and she's like, "Well, you know what I mean? It's your people. You're enslaved by them."
Yes. Yes. We were. For quite some time, if I remember history correctly.
And you can, like, for once, see the smoke coming out of Mahi's ears and hear the gears grinding for once.
Once?
Those haven't been used in a while.
You set
Yeah.
yourself up for that one.
And she notices that your tail is kind of twitching in this case, and it kind of she watches it and she looks back at you and she goes, "Well, that's interesting too. It's also most of your kind doesn't have tails."
I know that is actually a question I've often pondered, because my wife does not have one.
Actually, she
But I
does.
did.
She does.
Huh?
We retconned that. She does.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, she does. That's one of the
I
things that
take
you
it
guys
back.
I don't know what I'm
got
saying.
together over.
I'm an idiot.
You
I
guys are
don't
The
know my wife.
the gears stopped turning at that very moment. They screeched back to a halt. They are no longer in
Yeah,
use.
I'll say from this perspective, I mean, though I mean, you know your history of your people, but you've not really socialized with most of them because you kind of grew up in a totally different culture. So
Yeah,
really, the
Mahi's
only other
only seen
dragonborn
the
you know
one.
is
Yeah,
Nala.
he's only seen Nala.
So
been-
it doesn't seem weird to you.
Mahi just shrugs.
I mean, I hope that wasn't offensive. I mean, I don't know if it's like a birth defect or something, but I just thought that was weird. I mean, if you've gotten used to it over time, that's fine. I'm curious. I'm curious. Just why don't you just use the mirror?
Mahi looks into the camera.
Tor kind of has like this weird moment of actual like, what's it called? Self-realization. That this is probably what she sounds like to most people.
Tor's like, oh god, is this how other people see me?
At this point, Vanna kind of slides back over to the other edge for when she came, and feeling the awkwardness in the air. And she's like, "Well, whenever I guess it's obviously a personal, private thing for you. So, but
It's
I'm
fine.
just Just very curious.
It's
I
fine.
don't see too many Dragonborn.
Me
So,
neither.
So Vanna, how
you know,
long have
except
your
for that,
people been being eaten by dragons?
a long time. We're kind of a delicacy.
Yeah.
We're like hors
Do you know
d'oeuvres.
anybody? Do you know anybody who's been eaten by a dragon?
I
Oh
swear,
yeah.
Tor's doing this on purpose now to retaliate.
My cousins.
Yeah, she's defending Mahi for once. Let it happen.
Got a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles that have gone that route before
Is this
my
like
time.
pretty high in your list of ways to die for your kind?
Yeah, yeah. If we don't blow ourselves up with our own magics, but yeah.
So you either blow yourself up with magic or live long enough to get eaten by a dragon?
Pretty good life.
Fair enough.
I mean, aside from that, we have big, sprawling, beautiful-looking cities, forests that make these woods look dull in comparison.
Right, but we don't have to actively worry about being eaten by dragons every day.
Well, we
Well,
do, but most people.
I mean,
Well, yeah, most people don't.
considering I was captured yesterday by a cult that worships one, it seems maybe more common than not.
Oh, this is actually uncommon. Believe it or not, I have never encountered a dragon before meeting these people.
And she kind of looks behind her at the scattered remains of what's left
And
of the
now I've
bones.
and personally encountered two, and we're gonna end up encountering a third. It's been a crazy 2 weeks.
Roll a perception check for me, Tor.
Come on, online dice, don't do me dirty again.
Rolls another critical one. It's
18.
because it's okay.
Did you hear me?
No, I did not hear.
18.
18. Okay. Yes. So you notice her facial feature kind of shifts a little bit as she looks at the shattered remains of the skeleton dragon behind. You notice that she has this kind of solemn sadness that kind of comes upon her briefly before she turns back to you.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Sus.
14.
Penguin dice set. Penguin.
Uh-oh. EM chuckled with evil
I heard
intent.
that.
You catch that she was her normal look definitely shifted. Whatever that intention is, you have no idea. But you don't know if it was a memory, history. You don't really recall, or well, you wouldn't recall anything, but you wouldn't really pick up on anything other than she had a split moment where she kind of just stopped mid sentence before she continued on her conversation, looked back at you.
Okay. That does me no good. Fantastic.
Oh, I will say for your purposes, yeah, you're curious about what that was about. There's something there.
I'm definitely curious, but just don't really know where to go from there. So I'll just go
Can't
back to
really
squinting at her.
peg on if she's purposely trying to hide something. You could certainly ask her.
Yeah, are you trying to hide something?
Right? Hey, we're keeping a secret from.
Kind of blinks slowly, smiles at you. I'm sorry, what were we saying?
I don't remember
Oh yeah, my people eaten.
being eaten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how
It
it's not
sucks.
really a thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of undead where you're from?
Not too much, really. Not too much. It's certainly something that's not practiced a lot over in my plane. Doesn't really need to be. This plane seems a little bit more infatuated with it, though, from what I've seen.
Yeah, there's a
Like-
lot of it around this area.
Like, that thing was weird. She points back behind her.
That's
blue
the biggest one I've
things.
seen.
Yeah, I don't. My magics work too well on things that aren't alive or have brains. I can't make them see things or manipulate them. And poison doesn't work for people that just don't have flesh or bone or blood.
Yeah, I've encountered that problem too sometimes.
Now maybe this guy, and she points over to Mahi. Acid works probably a little bit better.
He kind of shrugs. Kind of like a smug shrug, like, yes, I spit acid, but it's no biggie, kind of a shrug.
And she kind of looks past over to Tavi, fervently digging off to the side, and she's like, and his weapon's pretty cool. It's very anti-skeletal.
I think it's anti-everything.
Any weapon Tavith has is pretty anti-everything.
What? What are you guys saying over there?
That you're very
you're
good at
dope.
killing things.
Keep up the good work.
Oh, thanks.
Hurry up, though.
We all said different things, but all the same thing. All Tavith praise.
Aithavin, as you are heading towards the northern pillar, the sound of music, though muffled, sounds closer and closer as you get to the pillar. Would you go ahead and roll an investigation check for me?
Yeah. Okay. 14.
14? Okay.
Sure.
Alright, as you kind of encircle and inspect, you notice that there is a section of the wall here where you're facing at this point of the pillar that is shaded different from the rest of the exterior.
I kind of mutter to myself, you know, Ronan, if you knew the way out was this way, you could have just said it explicitly, but okay. And can I kick it? Can I just kick it?
Okay, roll a strength check.
Yeah, that's a thing I'm good at.
Man, I hope she breaks her foot. That'd be funny. It's not scary, but it would be funny.
Okay.
Denied. 18.
Oh.
18 or 8?
18.
18.
18.
I heard
Alright.
8. I was like, bruh.
It almost was a 2, and then it went dink onto 18.
So you almost jump kick it here. It reverbs back a little bit, so it does kind of hurt because you just kicked a rock wall. But interesting enough, as you do so, and the sound kind of echoes throughout the rest of the cavern, and you see kind of little flakes of gravel and dust kind of fall from the ground. You kind of take a moment to brace yourself, making sure you just didn't do something bad. But it eventually subsides and stillness comes back into the room. But you successfully kick the rock wall.
Okay, can I inspect it closer? Look, I'm
The
just
only thing
like,
that you notice is that
if this was
there's like
Zelda, I would have bombed it. Like,
yeah. You might need some other assistance or something else.
Either
But the
really
only thing that you
strong
picked up
boy
with
or
your
really
roll
perceptive boy.
is that it, and I will say also with the kick, this helped confirm it. There's a hollow sounding to it. Like it's not completely solid. This particular section of it.
the other ones, I'm assuming, were solid.
From what you could determine.
Yeah. Does it seem... How do I put this? Is it some sort of, like, magical thing that's making this solid, or is it just...
Go ahead and
Gotta hit
roll an
harder.
Arcana.
Something I'm not terrible at. Watch me roll bad. Wait, I knock on wood. Bonk. Okay. 16.
16. Okay. You do not sense any magical essences.
I'm gonna whistle over. Tavi!
Obviously, kind of hear
Yeah.
the
What?
Tavi echoing down the corridor.
What in the world?
Bring me back my shield and come help me with this.
She's like 100 feet away from me.
She's like
Yeah.
yelling it.
Everyone else hears this, of course.
Alright, I just pick up the shoe and I start.
She is 95 feet away from you.
Uh-huh.
I'd say that you got a little bit further down the hall at this point, Tavi. but you
Okay,
go ahead
now
and
you're
stop.
100 feet away.
I'm almost there.
I mean, it's only 30 yards. I've yelled further.
Okay, I'm coming.
I can only measure distance in yards because marching band.
Running. Running.
All right.
What?
Okay, what are we doing? What's why'd you
Probably
stop me from my
something
digging?
stupid. Do you want to swing your maul at this?
At what?
And I point to the spot on the wall. This seems appealing.
Yes. Me like you swing maul at inanimate objects. Last time that happened though, it broke my maul. So if it breaks this time, you're buying me a new one.
Okay. I'm gonna take my shield and any, like, little dings or, like, dents he's put in it at this point, I'm just gonna start using mending on while he does this.
No need. It's a magical +1, so
Awesome.
it's just dirty. But you can
I just brush it off.
mend that away. Yep.
So I go smack.
Go
in
ahead
the
and roll
string.
an attack roll.
I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna give him guidance.
Alright.
Guidance doesn't do anything for an attack roll.
No,
but-
I'm sorry. Not an attack roll, yeah.
Just for damage or to hit?
This is 2 hit.
Okay. That's 19.
19. Okay. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
$13 damage.
Okay. All right, so you watch as he takes his maul, he swings it overhead and lands against the wall. It shakes, and you hear more rumbling from above. More gravel kind of falls on top of your head.
Kind of looks up.
Yeah, you kind of look up and you're looking to kind of dodge out of anything that's large enough that will hurt you.
Just puts my shield over my head like an umbrella.
Sure. All right, so you put your shield over your head and you kind of hear the little raining effect of dust. And Tavi, if you kind of get it in your eyes a little bit here, but as you dust settles here and you clear, you notice that the wall is cracked, and in the crack actually, it is the ice has kind of formed around it, and it's kind of dented inward. almost like a makeshift kind of plate. It obviously is not rock.
So what now, Python? Want me to hit it again?
Give me one moment. Tor.
Dusting myself off.
Can you blast something for me from a distance so that if this entire portion of the cave collapses, then it doesn't collapse on top of our heads?
Yeah. Move, Tabby.
Mm-hmm.
Tabby,
Move.
come here!
I come to you.
We're gonna get out of the way.
I'm
We're
gonna
go over here.
point at where Tavith was swinging his maul, and I'm going to cast Firebolt. That's a 10 to hit.
And a 10 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Your pinpoint accuracy goes wide left, splashes against the back wall.
Hold on, let me try again. I'm gonna try to cast it a second time. Okay, a 21.
21. All right, 21 hits, and it hits a little bit closer. You tried to narrow it to where Tavith was striking earlier. He points it out to you. Little fire. This is fire bolt, right? Not fireball.
Firebolt, yeah, so it just does
Okay.
5 damage.
Yeah. Hits the wall, burns up. Doesn't look like it really had any effect, though.
Alright. Let's try the stupid thing. Can I cast 3rd level Shatter on this stupid
Okay.
Gee.
What kind of damage is that?
This is such a
God.
bad idea.
Thunder?
Thunder
As far
damage?
as-
Okay. Is it an
as
attack
far
roll,
as-
or is it just is it a save?
We're gonna die.
Let me... it is...
I mean, it's a wall, so it's gonna just fail if it's a save.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, probably.
Sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense. 10-foot radius sphere. A creature made of inorganic material has disadvantage. A non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes damage. So...
Okay.
It just takes damage, I think.
Yeah. It's like sound waves, basically. Yeah. Okay, I could see what to do here. Go ahead. Was it a save or is it an attack roll?
It's neither. It would be a save, but because it's a wall, it's...
Yeah, it's a save, right? Yeah, it doesn't save, right? That's what I was asking. You don't roll an attack, so just go ahead and roll damage then.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
3rd level.
Yep. 23 damage.
So you watch as kind of you try to focus your magic onto the kind of the dented portion that now is a little fire scarred, and you watch as it starts rippling and just explodes and shatters into kind of pieces of rock and even metal kind of fly out and creates basically a small little opening with a staircase internally leading up.
Well, would you look at that?
That's one way to do it. Just failed really bad at your investigations to find
You said just explode the pillar.
the other
It's
way to
fine.
open it. You just explode things, but yeah, considering what you guys were doing to it. Getting cats here. Use it more than one
Ronan,
way.
when we asked for a stairway out, you could have just said yes!
Hear any response?
Anyway.
You do hear kind of that annoying like music like that's almost in the back of your mind, like you don't even know if it's there, if it's just stuck in your head kind of thing. But it kind of briefly stops when you scream this and then continues on.
He's like, ooh, ee keeps going. What did I just do?
Shrunk yourself.
Yeah, okay. This is annoying. Oh.
Hey!
Oh.
Hi.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What?
Super Pipe.
Super pipe.
I'm
Oh my
just
word.
trying to grab my token, and it's making me
Hit your toe.
change the size. Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Just keeps growing and shrinking.
He's
What
like
the?
holding control and grabbing it.
Bro. There you go.
They've changed it. It's
Yeah, so now it's like
not
a
the same.
drag thing to make things grow and shrink, which means every time I try to pick
Interesting.
up
This
my
is
token.
weird. Oh my god, you can make your things so tiny now. Look at
Oh my god,
Angelo.
Angelo.
Who
Oh my
just
God.
shrunk
Angelo's a
Angelo?
baby. Ant-Man.
Bruh.
Oh my god, he's dead!
That's Angelo in real life. Oh, there he is. Little speck.
Brought him back.
God.
Well. Stairs, anyone?
It just kind of
Well.
turns and look.
I suppose it's better than dying.
Yeah, you hear kaboom! Stairs?
Missing a
Hold on.
dancing light. Oh, there it is.
What you find?
Stairs.
Oh, up?
Yes.
Thank God. And Vienna.
Just kind of wave down Angelo. Like,
Passes-
you coming?
Oh, Venice says thank God.
He kind of brushes out what he was drawing, and then he
Thanks
gets
God
up
that
and
she
follows.
just jumps off the sarcophagus and passes everybody.
Pyth just kind of like throws a hand up, like, okay. And then's gonna follow her. Dun, dun, dun.
I'll follow.
It's
I'll
kind of a
follow
Secret
behind.
tunnel.
A circular
Secret
staircase.
tunnel.
Pythavan, you kind of bump into Vanna as she kind of gets towards the top. There's no light except a small kind of shard of light that's kind of coming from a crease at the top. But there doesn't look to be any way to open it. You can kind of see Vanna's like pawing at the roof.
I am not bombing this one also. Tavith,
Yes.
digging master, can you open an entryway
Oh,
to the world
more
above?
digging?
Come on, Badger.
Ah, digging is fun.
Tavith the Badger.
Doing
Go for it.
anything is fun.
So I just kind of
You
You
are
send a
correct.
little
Let
dancing light
Tavith
into
by.
this pillar, Tor?
Okay.
Yes, I do.
All right.
I
So,
send them up as we go.
So you guys see the kind of dancing light kind of circles around your shoulders here and spirals up to the top. So Tavith, as you enter, you can kind of see Vanna's kind of like hitting the top with her fist, and she looks like she's kind of getting a little like claustrophobic and starting to breathe kind of. Let me out! Let me out! Pythavan standing behind her, yelling for
Vanna, we're almost
Fairly
there.
tight quarters.
Relax.
She's like, but there's a little, and she kind of sticks her finger through the outside, and she's like, I could feel air.
Exactly.
Pokes her finger out through
So we're
the
almost
light.
there. Relax.
Get out
Unplugged
of
it.
the way.
Obviously, you could do like a strength check if you wanted to see what you see or what you feel when you get there. Is it's kind of like a solid, like rock shape plugging the top of this
That's a big oof right there.
hole. Yeah.
It's a big oof. I'm not gonna say what I just rolled. Do I still have guidance on me?
I would
Not
have.
no.
Yeah.
I guess she's right there, so she could if she wants
The
to give you
crit
guidance.
Yeah,
one does it.
Can I? Oh, yeah. If you crit one,
Guidance is not going to fix a crit
yeah.
one.
Crit one
Did you
or
crit one?
guidance doesn't give you advantage. It just gives you a plus D4.
Oh,
I
whoops.
feel
Never
ya,
mind.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get there and you kind of feel the outside of it. Yeah, but you're kind of squished in between Python and Vanna, so you don't have a lot of leverage.
At least I wasn't doing anything like trying to lift the rock. I did
But
that.
you do see kind of the widening, kind of goes from like a almost like a pinhole shape of light that's coming down from above to now almost like somewhat of a crescent moon shape.
Okay.
You can maybe instead of your finger, you can kind of fit your whole hand in there, and so as you do, you could feel air.
Ooh, that's a nice breeze. Can I use my maul to try and this time instead of just my hand to push out?
Okay. What do you want to do with them all specifically? You don't have a lot of room without hitting the two people that are like snug up right up on you.
Can these two get out of the way and make more room for me to
Smash.
Scoot back down the
smash?
tunnel.
Yes.
Vanna and Python goes ahead and exit back the tunnel from
Well,
whence they
wait. Hold
came.
on. I don't want to smash anything because then it might cave in.
That that's that's the sky. There's nothing to cave in.
Are you sure, Pyth?
Oh, I'm not saying that as Pi.
Kind of sounded like it was half Pyth voice for a second.
That was just me talking in a low voice. um,
Half Pyth.
yeah, I guess. Well, if that's the
Okay.
sky, there's no dirt to cave in.
Alright then. Give me some space.
Now, do you want to hit this, or do you want the strength leverage with your maul? In
I
other
would
words,
like
you want
to.
to try to can open it, or do you just want to kind of hit the top of it?
To be clear, is this like
Yeah, I want to try.
is there like a doorway type thing, or is it just kind of like a dirt wall that we've come to kind of thing?
No, it's not a wall. Its spiral goes all the way up to the top, and the roof is kind of a hole where the ground is shaped in, and the hole is being covered by something that's stone, like polished stone, with a little light that's coming out from the corner of it. Like it's not exactly wedged in correctly, so it's basically like a cork plugged in.
Oh, in
Seg-
that case.
Come to think of it, I have a crowbar.
Maybe I want to try. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, to wedge it.
there you go.
I literally have a crowbar. I'm gonna take my crowbar out and just hand it to Tavi.
All right, Tavi, if you want to go ahead and do a strength check with advantage on the crowbar.
Wedge it. Let's wedge it. Alright, 16 for one. So 16.
And it is.
All right. You kind of push it out, and that slight little tiny crescent moon shape of light now widens up till it kind of starts to you hear the stone pillar above you start shifting as you pry it out from the side, and now light comes in through. You don't push it out all the way, but you do edge it enough where you guys can squeeze out through the top now.
There we go.
Alright. Alright. So I guess I'll go out first.
kind of go out and then just start
And
helping
help
people
every-
up.
I don't think you're beating Vanna out.
and then help
And it's like
everyone
"Meow."
else. If she can sneak past me, sure, I'll toss her up there.
You. So everybody takes turns one by one, squeezing out the top.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you guys ended up on the tail end of the out. And what you've done is as you
I
look behind
forgot
you,
we wrote on this thing.
you've
Oh,
yeah.
what is going on?
What?
We were playing
What is
gravel.
going on?
Back we were up here. We all took
Mahi,
part
wait
of
a
this.
second. What is up with? Why
We
is all of our names?
Mahi, Angelo,
s-
Pike.
we all took place and took part of this.
So you guys end up on the kind of the tail section here of this mound. One of the white stone bone fragments that are sticking out of the mound, you have shifted aside.
Hey,
Okay.
I don't know if you guys can see this whole shape now, but I'll
I'm
go
gonna
ahead
take
and
my
just
crowbar
reveal
back.
it all.
Here, thank you. Got you guys out of a hole a second time.
Yeah, it was
Indeed.
nice to not be suffocating this time as it happened.
One might call me holy.
That's what the whole thing looks like.
Nice.
I am a holy hobbies now.
I used that other map though specifically because it was more detailed.
Yeah, rather than trying to zoom in on these little spaces.
Yeah, and had more cool little things on it. All right, you guys have ascended up as you come out to the open at this point. It's probably going to be about mid-afternoon. Not quite dusk yet, but the sun is on its tail end towards setting.
I am immediately heading for the trees.
Yes.
Go to trees, portal open.
I am following.
Like the forest line.
Pyth is like muttering to
Yes,
herself
then
in
Vodwinkle
Sylvan.
Sue.
Thanks, Pyth. Everyone is so happy that we found an exit.
Oh.
You
I was
got a
gonna
little
say,
I
while.
can't-
Mahi does
I
give like a
can't-
little thumbs up.
Sometimes these skill checks are just so easy. You guys just score like 20s and 30s, and then other times
We have to blow
you're
up
like
the
a
entire
number. You're like one number away from hitting
Yeah.
a DC.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Pyth would have gotten a thank you if Tor would have gotten an apology.
Oh no.
Are you
Oh,
saying
does she
this,
speak Sylvan?
Pyth?
No, she
Oh.
doesn't. This is me saying.
Yeah, I was like,
I thought you were just gonna start speaking Sylvan. I was like, oh crap.
No,
Or
I
starting
speak
stuff.
Elvish, not
I
Sylvan.
was like, I know for a fact I'm
All
the
right,
only one that
let's
speaks
go
Sylvan.
for a break.
Yeah. Hence why you picked that language, I know.
Good breaking point, everyone.
Yes,
Yes.
I have to.
All right, let's break.